in a matter of days. And here's now a joint statement from Chancellor Philip DeStefano, Athletic Director Rick George, who's quoted multiple times throughout this process. I mean, him, Robert Robbins, and Mr. Arizona State, blanking on his name. But Rick George certainly is one of those that's been out there talking, delivering little sound bites here and there along the way, and was pretty positively Pac-12, I guess up until the point where they really felt they couldn't be anymore. And so here's what those two had to say. After careful thought and consideration, it was determined that a switch in conference would give CU Boulder the stability, resources, and exposure necessary for long-term future success in a college athletics environment that is constantly evolving. The Big 12's national reach across 3 time zones, as well as our shared creative vision for the future, we feel makes it an excellent fit for CU Boulder, our students, faculty, and alumni. These decisions are never easy, and we've valued our 12 years as proud members of the Pac-12 Conference. We look forward to achieving new goals while embarking on this exciting next era as members of the Big 12 Conference. So again, that from Chancellor Philip DeStefano and Athletic Director Rick George. And, not surprising to see the mention of just the nature of the landscape of college athletics right now. But, Paul, to hear him mention 3 time zones, and a shared creative vision, I think, that's obviously something that's been discussed quite a bit as well in this whole process and the Big 12's perspective. So clearly that was, a bit of part of their discussion, have another team out in the mountain time zone and expand your reach or just further it. With the addition of Colorado here. And welcome back, boss. Long time no see, but man, it brings me back to growing up and watching the old Big 12 and seeing the black and gold out there competing against, the likes of an Oklahoma State or an Iowa State. And certainly there will be some new matchups. I mean, we'll get a preview of a new matchup that never happened in the old Big 12, TCU and Colorado, almost right out of the gates. So that'll be a little preview of the new Big 12 in so many ways. So, yeah, crazy, but that happened quickly. That escalated quickly, I should say.
And I don't know, I really feel like the Pac didn't learn from watching the Big 12 at all. Bob Bowlesy was at Media Days. We had him on as happy and confident as he'd ever been. His speech was, man, this league we're just humming along. We're making great decisions. We really, every vote's unanimous. There's not really a lot of politicking anymore. And then he wakes up in the morning and texts in Oklahoma. We're like, yeah, that was cool, but we're going to go. Mm-hmm. And then here George Kliavkov is up and making some, the more vague it was just like, golly, you're going to walk up there, they're going to ask. They're going to ask, and you don't have an answer. It's really tough. It's really tough. And so once I heard that, and then you start hearing about, Colorado at Media Days. And most of you watching the show have never been to one or will never go to one. But it is the easiest place to talk to people ever. Yeah. There's no guardrails. There's nothing. That it is the time.
Luminaries aren't surrounded by 10 security guards, so you can't get close to them. It's not anything like that. You can walk up to Brett Yormark and start a conversation, basically. Yeah.
And so especially if you're gonna have a quick off the record talk, and I've had several of them there, just for clarification purposes, it's the best place to do it. Like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Just can you fill me in on this here because I'm a little confused, and you get those details. It's the easiest place to do it, and for the president and the AD at Colorado to just bolt as soon as their obligations were done, very telling.
A statement from the commissioner's office in the Big 12 put out a note. Irving, Texas, July 27, 2023. The following statement was released today by the Big 12 Conference through its commissioner, Brett Yormark, regarding the University of Colorado, quote, they're back. So there's Brett Yormark from downtown.
Yeah.
Man, I bet he's got a smile on his face right now.
Oh, I bet you
Fist pump, which, man.
Yeah. He's not going to sleep until this all is, he's just going to be ping-ponging all over the place trying to make the next move.
And look, he deserves a ton of credit. You can't give him all of the credit. Obviously, there's ADs, there's presidents, there's a lot of people involved there. But, yeah, that's a pretty big win for him. And